When looking at the overhead panel of an ATR 42 or 72, have you noticed that some buttons have an amber border? Can you guess what it's for? Hello aviators, how are you today? My name is Magnar Nordahl, I'm an instructor on ATR aircraft. Today I will explain why some push buttons in the overhead panel have an amber border. It is related to the fact that ATR is a very electrical aircraft. Almost every system on board is either powered, controlled or monitored with the help of electrical power. Behind the pilots are racks for electric and electronic systems. There are circuit breakers in the ceiling and the instrument panel is packed with instruments. Those systems produce a lot of heat and therefore the aircraft is equipped with a fan that provides a cooling airflow for the systems. This is the extract fan. When the aircraft is on the ground, the air is discarded through the overboard valve. When in flight, the overboard valve is closed and the air is directed via the now open underflow ventilation valve to the recirculation fans and the outflow valve, which is controlled by the pressurization system. This is a very brief description about the ventilation system, which also involves the air conditioning and pressurization systems. If you want to know more about those systems, please watch those videos, I shall the link here. There's also a link below in the description. Upstream of the extract fan is a smoke detector. So when there is smoke from the electric racks or avionics in the cockpit, the smoke detector will trigger the electrical smoke alarm. The first action is to do the memory items in the smoke checklist. If there is smoke in the cockpit, we do the following. We put on an oxygen mask. Before the first flight of the day, we check that the mask is set to 100%. Because when there is smoke in the cockpit, we don't have time to check the position of this lever. Then we put on the goggles and make sure we can communicate with each other. Regardless if there is smoke or not in the cockpit, we switch off the recirculation fans to prevent smoke from entering the cabin. And we make sure that autopilot is on. Now it's time to read the smoke checklist and confirm we completed the memory actions. We call the cabin crew and ask whether there is smoke in the cabin. This is important because smoke from the air condition system might trigger the electrical smoke alarm. There's a caution about this in the checklist. And I have made a video of just that scenario. You find a link in the description below. Once we have confirmed that the smoke source is not from the air condition, we proceed to the checklist for electrical smoke. The checklist for electrical smoke tells you to apply the checklist for smoke first. Then there is a second caution regarding the fact that the smoke from the air condition system can trigger the electrical smoke alert. Now let's look at the overhead panel and the push buttons with the amber frames. The recirculation fans are already selected off. Check. Avionics vent exhaust mode, overboard. This action opens the overboard valve partially and closes the underfloor ventilation valve and switches off the extract fan. This ensures that the smoke will be evacuated without affecting the cabin. Since the overboard valve is only partially open, the pressure in the cabin is not affected. The pressure difference between the cabin and the atmosphere creates an airflow that pulls the smoke away. Airflow high. This increases the airflow from the air condition. We need all the fresh air we can get. And now it's time to isolate the fire. DC service and utility bus off. Those buses are not essential for flight, so they go off. DC BTC isolate. This allows for isolating a DC main bus by selecting the associated DC generator off, if required. Icing conditions, leave and avoid. This is not always possible, but it's better to collect some ice than having a fire on board. Then ACY generator 1 and 2 off. With this, we lose anti-icing, main hydraulic pumps, and most of the probes heating. But the standby pitot heat is still working, so you can trust the speed indication from that one. We have now pushed all the push buttons with the amber border, but there is one switch remaining. After going through most of the checklist, where we try to identify the smoke source and eventually restore unaffected equipment, we prepare for approach. As we are descending, the differential pressure between the cabin and the atmosphere is decreasing. That means the smoke evacuation becomes less effective. When the pressure difference is less than 1 psi, we select the overboard valve to full open and select the avionics vent exhaust mode to normal. This causes the extract fan to start and evacuate the smoke, if there is any left. Checklist completed. So, there you have it. The amber border around the push buttons is there to guide you in case you have an electrical fire. Such a fire can produce very thick smoke, so there is no coincidence that the push buttons related to the procedure have an amber border to help you identify them. And that's all for this time. If you have questions about the aircraft and its systems, please let me know in the comment section below. You can also watch my videos about the aircraft systems. I will leave links to the playlist below. Thank you for watching, have a wonderful day, and happy landing!